Attention. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office? Bottoms was written and directed by Emma Seligman, who did Shiva Baby. Also written by Rachel Sand, who just happened to be in Shiva Baby as well. So much Shiva Baby love to start this review. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it yet, but I heard a lot of good things from critics, from viewers alike, and I'm absolutely going to check it out at some point. So many movies going on here, but Rachel Sand also happened to be in one of my favorite movies from last year, Who Wants to Play Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And there she is at the bottom. I did not intend for that to work out, but I'm just going to roll with it. But she was great. The entire cast was great. So much chemistry among rich people. And it proves if you put a bunch of rich people that really don't actually really get along all that well, you take away one little thing and then it just proves, holy crap, what an incredible horror comedy blend by A24. Yes, even a movie featuring the human lemur king himself, Pete Davidson, happened to actually be really, really good. That's unfair. Pete Davidson doesn't seem like a bad individual, but I can't help but see a goddamn lemur when I see him. But anyway, Rachel. Yeah, Rachel was great in this. And she plays PJ in Bottoms. And she is friends with Josie, played by Ayo Edebiri, who has been in various television shows, as well as the recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie. She voiced April. They're two friends. They've known each other for so goddamn long, even though they're polar opposites, and they're kind of on the bottom of the social ladder. And the plot, such as it is, they want to, basically after a certain incident happens, that leads them to almost being expelled, they decide, hey, wait a second, no, we were just doing this to practice for our fight club. We're teaching women self-defense because of this stuff. Women need to be able to defend themselves and feel empowered and safe and everything, and that's what we're doing. And the principal's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Just go ahead and do that. So they gather friends together, but the hidden thing behind this is they want to lose their virginity, and they want to lose it to particular girls, one that each of them like. And from there, basically just lies upon lies upon lies, and, you know, more untruths get told, and more people join the goddamn thing under false pretenses and all this, and it becomes comedic and crude and biting and great satire and bloody. God, it becomes so bloody at some points. But you know what? Well, let's talk about, you know, let's just get right to it. I actually went to see a special screen of this, and went to a North Seattle theater. And for those of you that have been to Western Washington, going to Seattle, any part of Seattle, on a, you know, on a weekend, or really any time of the day when things are open, you're taking your time in your hands, and you might as well just throw the time out the goddamn window. But I managed to get there, managed to get into a fairly packed theater, about 3/4 full, to witness what many have called one of the funniest goddamn movies of the year, if not one of the funniest movies of the last 5 or so years. So, are they right? I'm going to say right now that if the plot description has kind of turned you guys off, don't let it turn you off. Don't let it turn you off. Go watch this. Go watch this now. Stop what you're goddamn doing and go watch it. I'll wait. See, wasn't that goddamn great? I told you it was goddamn great. I haven't had this much fun watching a comedy with great satire and great biting wit since Mean Girls. That's how much I fucking love this. This is top 10 at least, possibly top 5. We'll see. I mean, by the end of the year. This is fucking goddamn great. And the rest of the cast. Marshawn Lynch was great in this. Basically just plain Marshawn Lynch. Summer Joy Campbell was absolutely tremendous as just somebody that was in the Fight Club that was a little bit disturbed. She's great. I need to see more stuff that she was in. Havana Rose Liu, who was in No Exit and the Sky is Everywhere. She plays Isabel, who is somebody that Josie is very attracted to. And PJ happens to like a girl called Brittany, played by Kaya Gerber, who was in Babylon. That's something I didn't get to check out yet. And one of the main guys that, like, you know, one of the main jock football players there, because it's very high school-esque and everything, Jeff, played by Nicholas Galitzine, who was in Red, White, and Royal Blue. Now check out my review of that. I think he definitely has a bright future. But the anchors of it, Rachel and Ayo, or Io, I really apologize if I got her names wrong. PJ and Josie are the characters that are the main focus, but every single character that gets multiple lines of dialogue has at least 1 to 2 funny lines. Even characters that are in the background, some characters don't say anything. People just are able to just, every piece falls into place and everything works. Everything blends. The comedy, the violence, and there are points where the violence really does ramp up some. And it is just, goddamn, it is a great amalgamation of just insanity. I believe, insane, indescribable. It's hilarious. It is so great, and the amount of the amount of swearing right off the bat definitely, appealed to me. This was fucking great. It was just, it hit the ground running. It didn't stop. Now, it mixed in some stuff where it got a little sweet, it got a little biting, and then it got really biting because Rachel really plays PJ well because she plays her pretty much as just somebody that's really a full-on dick. I mean, so really her character from Bodies isn't much different. But she's great. Ruby Cruz was great as Hazel, who was kind of aloof. She was great. She was great in this. Every character they involved, there were so many other characters that that it would take me forever to list them, but the amount of great characters, top to bottom, so much good stuff, so much great comedy, fucking fabulous. It mixes so many things, and it even has some horror elements to it because you're thinking okay, this is just going to be a comedy with some violence or whatever, and then it just keeps adding layers, and it's a breezy 90 minutes. And it just keeps moving and moving and moving, and even some points where it slows down for a little bit, it keeps on rolling. It's so impossible to describe unless you see it. So good. PJ and Josie, you can tell that they are friends, but you can also tell that, there is a bit of a divide and everything. And yeah, the lies upon lies and that kind of stuff, and the fact that certain things get revealed. It just reminds me again of Mean Girls. And again, I mean, I'm going to compare this to that, but this is a more violent Mean Girls, I guess would be the best way to describe it. But it's fucking great. I had a blast from beginning to end. The audience was very interactive. If you get a chance to see this with, a decent sized crowd, it's going to be great. This is a fucking crowd pleasing movie. I really hope this does well. I am so glad I went and saw a sneak peek of this and did not wait about 2 weeks for this thing to come out. This was fucking phenomenal. This easily gets a way, way, way high grade, even though I'll say that at the end of the review. Very praiseworthy. I fucking love this. I thought the acting was great, phenomenal, bloody, so good. So goddamn good. I am going to get into spoilers though, but I just want to say even the awkward moments just work so well. I thought this was just fucking greatly paced from beginning, and I can't wait to see what Emma does in the future. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. So the spoilers, such as they are. Jeff and his cohorts. Jeff is dating Isabel. Josie likes Isabel. Jeff doesn't exactly treat Isabel all that well because he constantly cheats on her because he's a star football player. The incident at the very beginning of the movie, Jeff, there's a county fair thing. Basically, it's, PJ and Josie talking about who's going to get, and basically they're very awkward around particular people. Josie seems a little more endearing. PJ lays it on way too thick. And then Isabel leaves Jeff because she doesn't like how Jeff is treating her. She gets in his car, and Josie drives and just pushes up against Jeff. I mean, like this, eep. And he fakes an injury, oh my God, I'm hurt and everything. And his players are all over. The players are all around the current football players. One's doing a barrel roll over a goddamn car. It's goddamn great. And it's no, they won't pay for this. It's just this shouting moment where they're shouting to the sky. It's so good. And then they basically are going to get expelled, PJ and Josie. They say they're starting a fight club. That's what they were preparing for. And the principal's I don't care. There's layers upon layers about, them getting targeted because they're gay. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office? Is the principal really able to talk like that? Marshawn Lynch is a great teacher. They actually had to get him to basically sponsor the goddamn group and be the person to run it, and then he realizes like, oh, there's some cool stuff. So, oh well, these girls are actually doing some stuff, and this could be empowering. And other girls get involved. Hazel is somebody that is helping run the thing and everything, but also lies start to get told near the beginning, where PJ and Josie, the story gets concocted where they were in juvie, and it just gets layered upon layered upon layered that they beat up women or beat up other girls or killed them or whatever, had to fight for their lives, and that's stuff that gets added. And also, there's another character, a football player, that tries to find out through research that they actually weren't in juvie. Josie, instead of coming clean, gets with Isabel under false pretenses and everything. And actually, a sweet moment. It actually is very sweet how they get together. They actually do pace that well. But meanwhile, the Fight Club stuff keeps happening. Every time they got in the Fight Club and they were pushing each other, punching each other, there was blood. They were beaten. There was some really good stunt work here too, and it was great stuff. It was just so fun. It was just so fun, despite the fact it was maddening. And then there's a little thing in the cafeteria where it turns out that Jeff actually is allergic to pineapple, and there was pineapple in the fruit cup. And that gets brought up a little bit later, where Jeff can't have that, or otherwise, have an allergic reaction to it. There's also this thing going on between these two rival schools, the school they're at and this other school, where stories get told by a relative of Josie that, they'll always try to kill one of the players of that school. Like, always try to kill one of the players of your school and everything, and you have to find a way to stop this. And this gets heaped on in the last 30 or so minutes. So Isabel and Josie get together, but then it turns out that whole lie gets exposed. Kind of like how the book, the burn book got exposed in Mean Girls, and they had to come up with other stuff and everything, like, come up with apologies, come up with ways to, like, make things right as best they can. PJ also was just really dickish at one point, because it turned out the Fight Club thing was actually going to get banned and terminated because the football team didn't like that it was distracting from the big game, because girls can't be here. Girls can't be equal. They can't be here. They got to be here. That's basically what the implication was. I mean, that's not my words. That's what the words were there. But all this stuff is happening, and PJ finds out that the girl she likes is actually straight. So she's kind of pissed about that. But she really knocks Hazel at one point when the group's going to get disbanded. And this is after an earlier scene where they're all sharing their stuff. And Hazel's just kind of getting pushed to the side, even though she's sharing some stuff. And it turns out their mother's going through a midlife crisis, and her mother's actually banging Jeff. And that's how Isabel basically breaks up with him and then gets with Josie. And Marshawn Lynch, meanwhile, is just having a teetotal blast here. And the joke, I can't describe the jokes because they're just so good. You gotta check that shit out. But what I loved about this was after basically PJ and Josie were up here and then they got knocked back down, then they separate as friends for a bit. Josie talks to her aunt. PJ is trying to do some stuff and everything. And then they realize that there's this thing going on where after Josie basically tells them, hey, they're going to kill one of the players and we have to figure out what the hell's going on here. So we have to do something. Even though these girls hate us, we have to find a way to get them together. So they manage to get them all together, even the cheerleaders, like Brittany and Isabel. And they're all getting together, they're all doing this and all doing, they're going to figure out what the hell's going on. One earlier scene, though, that was just so funny was when they were egging Jeff's house and trying to throw toilet paper. And then somebody came up with the idea to put a bomb under Jeff's car. And Hazel did that, but she set it for too soon. So it's like, shit, we got to run, and then it blows up. So then she sets up a bomb on this tree as a distraction, because once this other team shows up, oh my God, it's going to be just a bloodbath. But how are they going to get to this one particular player? Josie looks around back, sees all these barrels, and sees pineapple juice. What the hell? Pineapple juice? Jeff's allergic to that. They found that out. Holy shit. But how are they going to get to him? All the barrels are empty. the sprinkler system. So now they have to stop Jeff and rescue Jeff. But since these players are so vicious and so violent, this is after, by the way, Hazel had been kind of just put as a sacrificial lamb, so to speak, getting beat up and beating another guy up, proving, the lie that PJ and Josie, perpetrated about being in juvie, that, yeah, you can teach people how to fight, but if you actually don't know what you're doing, probably not going to work all that well. But the funniest goddamn scene is here at the end with the players, and just boom, 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 and everybody's getting all this violent stuff, and Summer Joy Campbell had this, like, fantasy of, like, getting rid of her stepdad and grabbing his sword and just doing whatever, and there's this point where the sword gets involved, and she's like falls back because the sword's too heavy, and then this player falls on her. She just impales him. People are getting beat up, just destroyed, everything. It's just a bloodbath. All these players are dead, so instead of killing Jeff, they killed all of them. So they actually did kill people. Then the tree blows up as everybody's celebrating. And then we cut to credits and we go to some outtakes and stuff like that. But also, Isabella and Josie got together. And there was one little thing a little bit earlier where, as a distraction, PJ kisses Hazel. It seems like maybe they were meant to be together. Maybe PJ was picking on her, and maybe, because she liked her, or Hazel was, maybe wanted to just impress PJ and just wanted to do whatever. So there's a lot of layers of this stuff. And also, it's a breezy 90 minutes, and it's also great. And fucking check it out. I fucking loved it. It was so good. So good. A goddamn plus. That's what it gets. This was really, really, really good. Fucking loved it. Bottoms was great. Are we going to get a Bottoms 2? Please don't. Don't do it. Let this be standalone. So good. Great acting. Characters up and down. So much good stuff. Bravo. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.